Hi, this is Enis from Never Stop Trucking. We are talking about how to become a dispatcher in a different way. This is a different view of how to become a dispatcher on a budget, actually, in these times where everything is uncertain. And I know the markets are not that great, but hopefully they will improve soon. And this will help you to start now or maybe sometime in future. So I have few different steps here, and I have some of these slides on the wall, and then we're just going to talk about each step. So let's start right now. So first thing, when you are about to become a dispatcher and when you're thinking about becoming a dispatcher, you should do some research, all right? First, do some research, see whether this is for you and whether you will be able to succeed in this kind of business. I know a lot of people can do it as long as you have internet, you know English, and you have a computer, and you have some kind of sales skills, or you're about to improve some of your skills as far as negotiation and talking to other people and trying different ways of learning, especially online. And I always say that everyone can do it, but you should decide it for yourself whether this is for you or not. So do research social networks, and see whether a dispatcher job is for you. What does a dispatcher do? How long are they working? What kind of hours? What do they have to do? What's in their job description? Is there a need for more dispatchers in a certain area? See how they are, what are their pain points, what are they complaining about, what's the thing that they don't like, or what's the thing that they actually like about this kind of job. Can they make money? So do all kinds of research on social networks. You can search in YouTube, search bar you can use on TikTok, even or Instagram or Facebook. See what they're doing, talk to friends, see if any of your friends are in truck industry. It doesn't have to be a dispatcher. It can be a truck driver or anyone that's included in like if they work in a warehouse and they speak to drivers. See how drivers are behaving, what are they complaining about, what do they like about the industry, and think about whether you can be a part of that industry, because trucking industry, like any other industry, is different, is special, and it requires a special kind of skills. There is a lot of stress involved. A lot of people are calling you sometimes after work, so you have to know that it might become stressful for you. So talk about this to friends, or even friends of friends. Like you don't have a friend that's in truck industry. Well, maybe your friend has a friend or relative. Ask to talk to them, or ask them how they like it and what are the biggest advantages of working in that industry, and what are some disadvantages, and then look on websites and see whether some of these websites can help you. Like you have a lot of websites that talk about trucking, about dispatching. Some of them offer courses, some of them offer instructions, some of them offer their own experiences, and just see whether you can fit in that industry. So first we have social networks, all right, and then we have friends. This is your friend, very skinny guy. And then we have also websites. So make sure you do your research before you start, so you know what you're getting yourself into. A phrase that I like is plan, practice, execute. All right. So right here we have a plan, and execution is at the end. Planning means success, of course. Give yourself time frames. Set up a time frame before you go to a next stop, or before you're finished with forming your business and getting a first customer. And make sure you set realistic goals. Don't set a goal for 2 weeks and you're not even done with the second stop. Just give yourself a realistic goal, and even if it has to be a couple of months or few months, be realistic, and then determine your budget. So a budget is a big thing, especially right now. What we always like to say is if you don't have a computer or any kind of equipment, you can plan on spending around $1,000. If you have some kind of equipment, because most people nowadays will have a computer or a laptop, uh, plan on at least 500 because that will include some permits, some documents, and some things that you're potentially missing in your new office. But now, here we are talking about being very cheap. We are talking about doing everything that you can do for free. So set up your budget. Let's say you don't have a big budget. Let's say your budget is like $100. All right. So, I mean, $100 is not a lot to start anything, but let's just say you have a budget of $100 and you want to start as cheap as possible. Why? Well, there are a few things. Some people will spend a lot of money before they even start. And if their business is not a success, then this will be money lost and they will feel bad. But if you invest a minimal amount of money in the beginning and hope that this will be a success down the road, you can invest in things that are not needed in the beginning. So we're going to do this video as if you had a budget of, let's say, $100. So let's see if we can get it done. All right. So next thing that you need is training. There are a lot of free resources online, a lot of videos on YouTube and on other social networks that will teach you some things about this job. Especially on this channel, I have over 300 videos, and I still get some simple questions in my email or in comments about some topics that I went over in numerous videos. And if you watch my videos right now, I guarantee you, if you watch all of them, you will not need any training. You will not need to buy a course. You will be ready to start your dispatching business. And then even so, if you go to the channel, to the main page, and there is a search bar on the upper right hand corner that specifically searches through videos on my channel, and you can search for some phrases. People are asking me, hey, do I have to have an LLC? Do I have to have an MC number? How do I do that? Well, if you were just to go there and search for that phrase, you will, for each topic, you will get at least like 2 to 10 videos that talk about certain things and that you can watch. Okay, so training on YouTube, other than my channel as well, but especially on my channel, there is a lot of videos that you can learn from. And there is this one guy that we work with together. His name is Chris, and he watched a lot of my videos and some other videos, and that's how he started. And now he's dispatching 5 or 6 trucks, and then he can even get more. We can even get him more, but he's just saying, like, let's just take it slowly. All right, so he's a living proof that it can be done. And then execution at the end, everything that you learned, your time goals, your budget. Now we're getting to do something. Okay, so you want to be a dispatcher, but you have no idea, you don't know anything about trucking, about dispatching. I know there are other people like former drivers or someone that has been in touch with trucking and they want to do dispatching, but let's pretend that you don't know anything about dispatching and you heard, you've seen it online, someone is talking about, like you can do it from home, you can do some, you can make some decent money, you don't have to live in the United States, you can live anywhere in the world. So let's say you don't know anything. Well, you have to learn about the industry. You can't just go there and start working or even advertise your services if you don't know anything about the industry. So how do you do that? Well, read, watch, listen, and then simulate. All right. So you can read, like we said before, you can read everywhere on the on internet. Go to, also don't forget to go to government's website like FMCSA, and then they will have a lot of regulations there. So it's good that you also learn some of the regulations, that you get familiar with different phrases. As we said before, you can watch videos on YouTube and other social networks. You will learn. I also have videos where I talk about trucking phrases and expressions. What does lumper mean? What's a scale ticket? How to scale the trailer? How to negotiate loads? All of that, I have that on my channel, and like I said, other channels have it as well. Listen to podcasts, to audiobooks, get some knowledge, and you don't have to do it constantly. You can just dedicate while you're preparing everything. You can just dedicate an hour or two a day when you familiarize yourself, and then write it down. Make a journal and write down everything that you might need in the future. If someone is asking about something, you don't want to look stupid, you don't want to look like you don't know, then you will be ready for that certain expression or a phrase. Go out and find trucks, speak to drivers, ask them about their trucks. Anywhere you live, they have trucks. Like if you don't live in the United States, the trucks are a little bit different, but 80% everything is the same. Ask them about the engine, ask them about the trailer, the way being loaded, like what do they have to do when they go to shippers, to receivers, phrases, tips and tricks, when they're driving, hours of service. Ask and learn and make notes, and believe me, that will come helpful one day to you, because you will know. It's different if you are standing in the front of a truck and talk to an actual driver, as opposed to look at those things online. And it's a different feel. And if you have a driver that's willing to talk to you, and a lot of them are, because they are usually alone right there on the road, and they want someone to talk to. And if you seem to be genuine and honest, they will talk to you and explain you things. All right. So simulate. What can we simulate? We can simulate finding loads, finding carriers, and talking to brokers before you even start, okay? Because we want to build some self-confidence. We want you to prove to yourself and to others that you can actually do this. There are some free load boards, there are some broker boards where you can access them for free without even having an account, and I will make sure that I put some of these in description of this video, and then you can actually talk to those brokers. You can ask them about loads. You can tell them that you're just starting, that you're learning, and ask them about loads. See whether you're comfortable in doing that, and then maybe try to even negotiate a little bit and ask them how they respond. You will see that no one is gonna kill you, no one is gonna yell at you, as long as, because it's part of the business. If you're asking for more money, if you're asking for information about the load, they're used to it. They do it every day. And it might seem odd to you and unusual, but this way you will be ready once you have a carrier. And then same thing with finding carriers. I have a few videos where I talk directly to carriers, and then where I also talk about how to find carriers. And then you can see like whether that's for you. Are you going to be able to call carriers and talk to them, offer them loads, maybe even advertise your services? Just try to simulate some of these phone calls, like at least like 5 to 10 phone calls for each, and see whether that works for you. And then you will feel more comfortable, because a lot of times it's somewhat easy to find equipment, to set up everything, and set up a company. And in the back of your mind you will have this thing, well, okay, I'm going to be able to finish this, because it's pretty easy to finish that. But how am I going to talk to people on the phone? How am I going to negotiate? Will I be able to book loads? And will drivers be satisfied with me? Are they going to laugh me out? Will I come out as unprepared? This way you will be prepared, and you will know what it is. So when you come to that point, you will be ready. You will have a peace of mind as far as it comes to that. Here's a great way to simulate all that, and that's getting teamed up with someone. Talk to a friend or a relative, someone that has the same area of interest as you, like maybe they're same age. They do a similar kind of work. They have that vision. They want to do something for themselves, work from home, accomplish something on their own. So find someone and talk to them and tell them, hey, I heard about the dispatching thing, and I want to try it out. But here's a crazy idea. Let's do it together. Are you interested? And you can explain it to them, how it works, what needs to be done. There's training available. There are website and YouTube channels where you can learn, and then potentially you can make a living out of that. So there are two options. You can either work with them together. You can form a business together where you're going to be sharing everything, and everyone will have to do their own work. And this is good because sometimes, like, you might have a friend that's good with computers, building a website with social networks, and you're not, but you're more the people person. You're good with talking to people, so you will you will have more skills put together, and you will be stronger together. But then also there are some downsides. What if you don't click together? What if down the road you guys get into a conflict, and maybe your friendship will be ruined? Maybe you will go after each other for money, or whatever the case may be. So think about that. Think if you want to do it that way. If you don't want to do it that way, you can also start separate. You can both create your own separate businesses, but you will be doing everything together, in a sense of learning together, not sharing the profit, but learning together. You will share the tips, like something that you learned. You might share your contacts, broker contacts, or like if someone has a driver that they can't cover, you can ask the other one to take over, things like that. All right. In my opinion, that's a better way. It's a harder way. Because it's easier if you do something together. You combine your skills together, and that's always good. But this way, there's no chance of ruining your friendship this way. All right, and then you both will have businesses. And who knows, maybe down the road, one of you don't want to do it anymore, and they can just close down their business, and the other one can continue. Like if you're together and one of you wants to get out, then it's harder. So this way you can not compete against each other, but you can share everything with each other. And like if you find some kind of website or something that will be helpful, you can share with your friend, and vice versa. So this way you can also simulate, like we had on a previous a sheet of paper. You're simulating phone calls. You guys can simulate together. Like you can call him, and he can be the broker or an owner operator, and vice versa. And then you can pretend like you're talking to each other, give each other hard times, and different scenarios. So this is a good way to learn together, if you find that one person that you can actually work with. When it comes to being cheap, use free resources. Remember, we have that budget of $100 or less. So in the beginning, like we said, it's still good to have everything ready, but only if you are 100% sure that you're going to be doing this. We always advise to get a company, get a load board and things like that, some kind of permits, and there are a lot of investments in that. And then at the end, the outcome may not be as that person wanted, and maybe they don't even have a driver, they never booked a load, and that money went down the drain, and we want to prevent that. So if you're unsure about whether this is going to be working for you, if you don't want to risk anything, or if you don't want to spend money, here is a great way for you to start your own dispatching career. So there are free boards, free load boards. I will put some of them in description here. And there are some broker boards where you don't have to pay. Well, you don't have to pay for any of them, but you don't have to have an MC number, in order to register things like that. You can just access their load boards. So in the beginning, you can look for loads on those websites. All right. So especially if you have a one driver, and you will most likely, in the beginning have only one driver, it's going to be very hard to get that first driver. But once you get that one driver, it will be only one driver for a while, maybe two. But in the beginning, in first few weeks, most likely you're going to be working with one driver. And if you ask me, DAT Power, or DAT1 as they call it now, is still the best load board. But right now it can be like $180 a month for the middle tier, which is the one that I recommend. And if you don't want to spend that money, why pay $180 for that until you're sure that this is something you're going to be doing long term, or if you have more drivers. So with one driver, you really don't need DAT power board. If you want it, if you want it for free, like 30 days free, you can sign up through my link in description of this video. If you're a dispatcher, you don't have your own MC number right now, you have to call them and then mention my website and the code, and then you will get those 30 days free. So if you don't have your MC authority, you now have to call DAT board. But in the beginning, you don't need it, all right? So no load boards, no pay load boards. Use only free load boards. No LLC yet. Why do you need to go through trouble of registering your LLC? Like in Michigan, it's only $50, but in other states, it's way more. Especially if you live abroad, it's going to be like $300 to $500. Why go through that if you don't need it? People can just pay you directly. If you provide good service to someone, they don't care if you have a company or LLC, or if right there on invoice shows XYZ logistics. They don't care if it's your only like, hey, this is Anis, I'm paying to Anis, he found me good loads, I'm going to Venmo the money to him, Zelle, PayPal, even MoneyGram if you're not here, ACH, credit card, send him a check, give him cash, it doesn't matter. As long as you're doing your job, drivers will be happy to pay you, and to them it really doesn't matter whether you have a company or not. Only after you get like 2 or 3 drivers, then you will have to have the company, preferably LLC, because right now they are in trend, and it will protect your personal assets, and then it will give you some like liability. Now, don't think that I'm advising you against forming a company. No, absolutely you should have one, but in the beginning, if you're working with one driver, then really there is no need, and it's totally legal to do it that way. All right, so don't worry about it in the beginning. Only down the road, when you see that this is going to be a success, then absolutely do get an LLC. Free phone, there are some websites that can give you free phones, or some of them will charge like $10, $20 per month. The ones that are free tend to show on caller ID as spam, okay? So just know that. So if you call someone, if you're trying to advertise your services to drivers or someone, it will come out most likely as spam. Just be aware of that. But absolutely you can get like Open Phone, or we are using Dialpad. It's like $27 per month, but Dialpad is really good. All right, free email, just use generic Gmail. There is really no need, like if you want to paid email, you will have to have a domain name, then you have to pay for a domain name, then you have to pay for like Google Workspace is like $6 a month, and then you have domain name and all that. So in the beginning, you absolutely don't have to have it. Of course, an email with a domain name, like a professional domain name, after your name, like anis@neverstoptruck.in. Yes, of course, it will come as professional, but I didn't even get that email after like a year of doing this, like on the YouTube channel and my website. I even had a website for a long time, and I still used Gmail. So in the beginning, if you're working with 1-2 driver, then you really don't need paid email. All right. Use social media for promotion. You don't even have to have a website. Like I said, if you have a website, you will look professional. But why do you need to look professional to one guy? That one guy only wants good loads, nothing else, and good service from you. This one guy or a broker, like a broker, is never gonna go to a website anyway. Website is good just to have it, just in case someone checks you out. But in the beginning, you don't need a website. You can promote your services for free on social networks. Use canva.com. They have free templates, and anyone can work on them, and you can just create some media, create some pictures, some slides for Instagram, for Facebook, and you can promote that on your social networks. promote every day, do a post each day, give out promotions, give out some tips, use hashtags, etc. So that's the way you can promote your services. And then of course use Never Stop Tracking website, neverstoptrack.in. I have some free resources there. And then also the YouTube channel, like I said before, there is a lot of content there that you can potentially learn from. When you talk to businesses and when you listen online, everyone is talking about ads. There are different kinds of ads, and I tried most of them: Google ads, Facebook ads, Instagram, anything that I could, even YouTube ads, anything I could get my hands on. But ads will work only if you're really big. If you're working with thousands and thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions, and you have to invest a lot of money in ads to see some return on those ads, all right? If you're small and if you want to do ads like $100 a month, that's not gonna do anything for you. Maybe even $1,000 a month in the beginning. When until they tweak, whoever is working on your ads, until you tweak them, in first few months, even if you spend like $1,000 on ads, you're not going to be seeing much. Use the power of free. Post regularly on 1 to 2 platforms online. Just choose 2 of them that work best for you, or even if you see that only one of them is successful, just concentrate on that one. Post every day, post couple of days, whatever you can, like tips and tricks, advertise your services with your phone and your email. Give out some free offers, put some pictures, some interesting pictures, some funny pictures, tracking news, anything. Just get the word out there. And then guess what? After 365 days, you will have 365 posts. And those 365 posts will probably gain you like maybe like 1,000 followers, right? And that's a lot. So just use that power of free. Social networks are very slow to work, so you have to be consistent and patient with them. In a month or 2, you will probably not see a lot, but you keep posting, and then you will see some returns down the road. Now, when you use the social networks, you can give out free offers for your services, and now this is targeted towards drivers. Okay, so tell the drivers, okay, I'm a dispatcher, but I'm giving, I have a special this week. I will work for free this week for you. So you give them 1 week free of your service. I'll tell them, hey, I will work for you. Do a post, make a picture on Instagram, or make a short TikTok video, and tell them I will work for free for you this week. Give me a chance, get to know me, get to trust me, and then you'll see that I'm willing to work. I'm going to be available when you call me, and just give them something for free. It doesn't have to be a whole week. It can be first load, first 2 loads, or we have an introductory rate of this much. Like usually you charge 6-7%. This, for the first week, I will be charging you 3 to 4% from the load, or per load, or come up with different things every week and give them something and see what works best for you. People love free content, and if you tell them, hey, I will look for loads for free or for very cheap, then they might give you a chance. So that's a power of free. Also, free offer for a download. Okay, so this is a little bit more tricky, but I think this is a good way to collect information on potential new drivers. This way you can collect their name, phone number, and email. Come out with an offer. Okay, so the way you can do this, you can use, for example, MailChimp, or other emailing softwares. For example, Constant Contact. They have an ability to build landing pages, and they also have free plans, so you don't even have to pay for those plans, because these plans work with a few email addresses, like if you have like 500 contacts or so. So sign up for let's say MailChimp, and it's free. and they have a way to build a landing page, and they can do it for you because they have a lot of templates. All you have to do is just change some texts. If you don't know how to do it, ask a friend or relative, someone that knows how to do it. But it's very easy. I've used it numerous of times. All right, so that way you have a platform to build a page and to collect an email address and a phone number from a person, in this instance from a driver. So create a free download for them. It can be some kind of a free ebook. Like I said, canva.com. They have a lot of templates for ebooks, for templates for anything actually, and a lot of that content is free, so you don't have to pay them. For example, some tips and tricks for drivers. Okay, you don't know, well, do some research, read some other ebooks, or go to some websites, read some articles where they give out some tips and tricks to drivers, like how to be safe on the road, how to take care of your trailer, how to work with brokers, something that you can give out for free. So create this, preferably an ebook that's going to have like 10 pages or so. Talk about driver pain points and the solutions. Create this ebook with some text, some pictures, download it to your computer, and now you have an ebook that will be useful to a driver. And it doesn't have to be life changing or anything even close to that, but it's free. All right, and people like free, people will appreciate free. If they learn new things from your ebook, like they knew about the 10 other things, but they didn't know about one of them, it will be useful to them because they didn't have to pay for anything. So in MailChimp, there is a way to set up an automation. So when someone signs up through that landing page and gives out the email address and their phone number, hopefully too, the system will automatically either send them your ebook or let them download. All right, so you will have to figure out that part, like which way you want to do it. So most likely it will be they will send an email to that customer with your ebook. All right, so this way you gave them something for free. They learned about you, and now you have their email address and a phone number. So in the future, you don't have to do it right away, but after like a couple of weeks or a month, you can email them maybe once a month about your services, about your specials, your offers that you have, or maybe even call them up. So this way you're building a database of new potential drivers, new contacts. The most important thing here is to spend like 1 to 2 hours with MailChimp building that landing page, maybe like half a day working on your ebook. When you put it together, it like you may be working on like for like 8-10 hours, I don't know. But once that's ready, it's there for life. And you can put it on your website, on your social networks, in your about section. You can push it out like every week or every couple of days, and you are all set for life. And that free offer, it doesn't have to be an ebook. It could be a poster or something with tips and tricks, something useful that can be sent to those drivers in years to come. And in years to come, you will gain a lot of contacts, hopefully hundreds, maybe even thousands, you don't know. All right, so that's a good way to get, and these are warm contacts, because you're not cold calling someone that doesn't want your services. In this way, they did the first step. They willingly gave you their email address and the phone number, and they downloaded something, and they got something from you for free. Even like most probably, most of them will never use you, but if you get like 500 contacts and 10 of them sign up with you, then you have a success. All right, next thing is practice with brokers. All right, call brokers and ask them about the loads. Like we said before, you can use these free load boards, and you can use their broker load boards and call them up and tell them, hey, I'm looking at this and this. You don't have to tell them, hey, I'm a dispatcher, or I don't have a truck, or I'm just practicing. You don't have to say anything. This way, you're not going to be lying. You're just genuinely asking about the load. Hey, I see a load from Cincinnati, Ohio to Iowa for tomorrow. Can you tell me about this load? And they tell you, okay, well, it picks up here, goes here, it's this much weight, and you write it all down. And you ask them, how much are you paying? Well, we're paying, I don't know, $1,000. You tell them, well, give me 1 second. And then this way you put them on hold. And because you will be doing this a lot, you will be talking to drivers in the meantime, and brokers will have to wait for that. Usually they will wait. So, give it like 15, 20 seconds and then come back. Hey, well, is there any way you can do 1,200, 1,300, 1,500, it doesn't matter. And then they will tell you, well, no, but we could do it this way. And then you put them again on hold, you go back, and then you say like, you go like $50 or $100 more. See, like you try to get their maximum with being respectful and without being pushy, and with being nice about it, all right? Let them sense in your tone that you do care about their profit, but you also want to give the most profit to your driver, and you genuinely want to do this load. All right, so practice with brokers. This will help you a lot down the road. Once you get to that first driver or two drivers, then give them 200% of your time and your abilities and your willingness to help. You have to please these drivers because they're your first customers. And if you have one driver and you lose that driver after a week, then you will be very depressed. You will question everything because you will have nothing to do. Because if you have like 5 drivers or 10 drivers and you lose one of them, well, it's not end of the world. But if you have 2 drivers and lose one of them, or even worse, if you have one and lose one of them, that's like losing like 50% or 100% of your customers, and that can be devastating to your company and to you, to your mind as well. All right, so we don't want that. So once you have that one driver, stick to that driver and give them everything you have. All right. Now, also keep in mind, if you get a driver, and this is not just the first driver, it's any driver, and like you're working for them overtime, you're doing everything you can, and they're turning down every load, like they want a perfect load. They're always asking for something more. Than this is not a good driver for you. It's not gonna work. If in 1 week they don't book one load with you, then you will have to question. You will have to talk to them and tell them, hey, the markets are this way. You're asking for this much. I really want to be able to help you. I'm on your side. I want you to make that money. But realistically, we have not been getting that much money from these brokers. Let's try to book some loads and some best paying loads out there that are available to you. And then hopefully the times will change, the markets will improve. If they still don't, if they don't book any loads, or you're noticing that like they're booking loads themselves, or just, tell them no, tell them, hey, nice working with you, thanks for everything, but I don't think this is going well for us. I have to concentrate on someone that's actually willing to take some loads. All right. So when you have first and second drivers, always concentrate on them. Give out everything you have in order to keep them. All right. This way you will also practice. And they will appreciate it. I still have drivers that have been with me for like 7, 8 years because they know me, because not just in beginning, even now, I go out of my way to help them, but especially in the beginning, because they learned that I'm honest, that I'm not going to cheat them, that I'm going to be doing everything I can in order to help them. So now when you have 2 drivers, now it's time to invest. All right. Now, you get your DAT subscription. I mean, it can be truckstop.com, but I've been using DAT board, and also in description of this video, like I said before, there is instructions how to get 30 days for free, and most people are using DAT board. It's not just me. So now it's time to invest in DAT board and some other things like your company. All right, LLC. Now you want maybe insurance. Okay, insurance. If you get liability insurance for $1 million, it's like $800 or so a year. So it's nice thing to have. You don't have to have it. No one is forcing you to have insurance. But once you get to more trucks, it's nice to have that insurance. Maybe like after 5 trucks, then it's nice to have liability insurance. Now, dispatching course. We are offering dispatching courses, ready to dispatch course. If you want to take your business to next level, if you want to learn 100% of the industry, then it might be a good idea to invest in a course. Like I said, you don't have to. This is most of these things are free, and we're doing everything for cheap. I'm saying down the road, maybe you want to invest in a course where you will be able to get taught in an organized way, the way everything works. All right, like you may have some questions, but you don't have anyone to answer those questions. All right, so this way you will be able to start for very cheap, and then also if for some reason it doesn't work out for you, but I hope it will, then you will not be losing a lot. Thanks for watching. Come back for more. If you have any questions, ask me in the comment section. Thanks and have a great day.